everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the NordCast and the Nord and Block podcast. That's right. Starting now, we are going to be collabing these two together. It is Monday, April 28th, 2025. I am your host here, Nordic97, joined with LeBlock James. LeBlock, how are we doing?
We're cautiously optimistic.
Cautiously optimistic. I like to hear that. So, this is our first episode since the Stanley Cup playoffs have gone underway. And let's talk about them now because we have 8 series to go through. We have a lot of tough stuff to talk about. So let's just dive in. What series do you want to start with, LeBlock? Should we start off with the Sens or just go through the rest first?
Why don't we just get out? Why don't we just get let's rip the Band-Aid off. Let's get out of the way. Let's go Ottawa.
All right.
First.
Toronto Maple Leafs versus Ottawa Senators. So that series stands at a 3-1 series lead for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And we're coming off of Game 4 where Toronto was up 3-0. Ottawa obviously ended up taking the win, but it stands where it is, and it's 3-1 Toronto. So, LeBlanc, honestly, I'm just going to pan it over to you. I want you to go game by game here and kind of just give your thoughts on everything, and then I'll chime in when I think is best.
All right, let's go Game 1, and I'm going to say Game 1 what it was. It was Louis Belt straight to ass. It was just belt to ass by Toronto. It's first playoff game for a lot of those guys. Toronto was going to win, and I said coming in, I've said to you off camera coming into Game 1, I thought we were going to lose Game 1.
You did.
Game 2, Ottawa outshot Toronto, but they didn't play better than Toronto. I don't know what it is about Toronto, but their defense is actually, I found them overrated coming to this series. They've really stepped up. They block every shot. You don't give you a lane to shoot. Ottawa outshot them and ended up losing overtime. I feel I think overtime is a coin flip.
Yes, and I had the argument on social media a couple of times saying that I really do think that it's a coin toss. Some people said it's not always because the better team can win. It's not always the case. That is not always the case at all. And I think again, it's always a coin toss. So continue.
Yeah, and my time as a hockey fan, I've seen some pretty janky ass overtime goals. I'm just pointing 100%.
Out the one in Vegas, Minnesota was pretty janky.
Toronto wins in overtime, and it's okay, you know what? Toronto still played better. Game 3, which I was in attendance for. I was in attendance for this game. I really thought Ottawa came out firing. I really thought they deserved a better fate than losing in overtime. I feel like they should have won that game, but we could call it the woulda, shoulda, coulda game all we want. It is what it is. And Toronto wins off just a bad goal. Allmark didn't even see the puck. So Game 4. Toronto played better than Ottawa. I think that's one game that Toronto actually really did show up for, in the shots column. And Ottawa won. I'll be honest, I'm surprised Ottawa won after the way they were playing in Game 4. But I feel like this series could be tied right now. We could have a 2-2 tie, but it's the way it falls sometimes where Toronto's at 3-1 right now, and I'm not going to lie, if there's any team to blow a 3-0 series lead, it's the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, I totally agree. Game 1, I said, Allmark didn't look particularly great. The Sens, while some of the calls were, what you said, were kind of ridiculous, they were still pretty undisciplined in the game, and they took some penalties that were completely unnecessary, and I still stand by that. Game 2, I thought they came out a little bit better. I didn't watch a whole lot of Game 2. I was broadcasting a couple other games on the channel. And, again, it's overtime. It's a coin flip. But I think Toronto kind of, in a way, deserved to win. So I guess it's that. Game 3, I really thought Ottawa should have won that. It sucks that they weren't able to get it done. And now it's 3-0 at that point. And then Game 4, I didn't really think they deserved to win that game either until after the double minor where Toronto took that and then did not score. I still can't believe it. And then the Sens won in overtime. I just was the Sens are winning this now. They have to win this now, don't they? And they ended up taking it. So, again, I think that as you said, if there is any team that could pull blow a sweep, it is Toronto. Just with the overall everything that has gone in this entire Matthews era has proven us that, I mean, should we really trust the fact that they would easily close this out? I don't trust the fact that they would easily close this out. So I will say this. After game 4, I'm not worried for Toronto. I'm not worried. You got game 5 at home. You should win that. But God forbid, if you lose game 5 and you got to go back to Ottawa, good luck.
Yeah, I think I said this after the game 4 is like, I forget if you said, don't let us get one. Don't let us get one.
Yeah.
Rip it off. Rip the Band-Aid off. And you know what they didn't do? They couldn't score on a 4-minute power play in overtime. And I'll be honest, I don't care if Tavares wasn't out there. Your power play without Tavares is still as good as it with Tavares.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy they couldn't get a thing down there. I thought the Sens did a good job at killing it off.
Yeah, it was a great kill. Yeah, don't let us get one. Now it's don't let us get two.
Yeah.
If Ottawa wins game 5, I'd be very confident in us coming back to 4-7.
100%. If that series goes back to Ottawa, I think that it's going 7, honestly. So really game 5 is what it takes, to be honest with you. We'll have to see there, though. How did you feel, and there was a lot of it throughout this entire series, how did you feel about the officiating and the calls?
I think the officiating is awful. And that's not just for Ottawa's side. I think both sides have, like, Toronto in game 3 took some calls I didn't really think were penalties, to be frank. I'm a Sens fan, but also I'm objective. I can see it from both sides. But like the fact that I got 2 things for this. The Stolar situation in game 2, that is complete bullshit. Like I don't understand that at all. Like, the broadcast makes it so much worse. Oh, Stolar, got his money's worth in there. Look at that. On the ESPN, I think that's a penalty there, Jim. Really.
Yeah.
And then the Nick Cousins thing in game 3, the aftermath of that. I don't know if that's the Leafs complained about that or that's just the league doing what the league does.
Oh, I forgot about that. Thank you for bringing that up. That is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. The whole fine and everything, it is so dumb. Oh my God, why? Why fine him? Like, it doesn't make any sense. You see so many instances of things like this happening, and players don't get fined. But I feel like because it's fucking Ottawa, just nothing flies. Like, I feel like the league just doesn't like the Sens. And I've had this conversation with you before. I just feel like they don't like the Sens.
It's because Ottawa's all 3 of Ottawa's owners, which is Bruce Firestone, who was the founder of the Senators, Eugene Melnyk, and now Michael Andlauer, have all gone out and said have been against Gary Bettman. They've all gone out and said, I don't like how he's running it. I don't like how he's doing things. I don't like how he's treating our franchise. And Gary, when you don't talk nice about Gary tends to bite back.
Ain't that the truth?
It's just
for sure.
Like we had Jack Guy 2 nights ago was hitting pucks off Capital Fire sticks in warm up. That's actually touching the player, by the way. And there was nothing for that. A couple years ago, the Stanley Cup final in 2018?
Yeah. What, Caps Knights? Yeah.
2018 final. Ovechkin and Fleury were slashing each other in warm-up. Nothing. Roslovic last playoffs went through the legs of Shesterkin in warm-up. Nothing. So this, to get the attention of the league that it deserves, and I think it's because of 2 things. Number one, it's the Maple Leafs effect. It's everything is blown out of proportion because it involves the Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
And number 2, it's because the league. I don't like saying the league's against us because I feel like you're complaining. I don't feel that way, but it really feels like they do not like us.
It's hard to make you not feel like that, to be honest with you. Like, being clearly blunt, like, I can't I still can't believe they got fined for that. What an unserious league. Like, you're going to not find all the other times that things like this happen, but you're going to find this one time where it involves Ottawa, which, by the way, you took away a first-round pick for a team, for another team's wrongdoing.
Gary! Do something, Gary! Like, that's how it sounds. Like, that's how the Golden Knights released to the Gary!
Literally, dude. Like, you're like,
they shut the owners, Gary.
You're preaching to the choir, man. Like, I 100% agree with you.
I understand finding Cousins, sure. Finding the organization, that is the stupidest shit ever.
Yeah, I mean, like, if it's Cousins, it's one thing. If it's the organization, oh my god, like dude.
What? Other than Cousins wearing the sweater, what did organization not plan and see? Hey, I want you to go fucking fire the pucks and Stolars and more. What? There's nothing there with that.
Yeah, even kind of ridiculous.
And even Travis Green made fun of it in his pregame, in his postgame, not the night up, but the next morning. But I was like, well, Bruce, it's an ongoing investigation. I shouldn't really comment on that. Like,
yeah, he gets it. He gets it for sure.
Like that. So, that's anyway. That's stupidity. But yeah, I feel like the Sens. I feel like it should be tied, but it's not. And I'm not going to sit here and play. Well, it should be tied. Yada yada yada. I'm based in reality. It's 3-1. You went down 3-0.
Yeah, I mean, you're already getting enough hate as it is. You shouldn't add to that.
Yeah, if Allmark played better in Game 2, probably would have won that game.
Oh, 100%. I agree. And, like, it's not like in these 3 games they've lost where they have played atrocious. Even in Game 1, they really weren't that bad.
Yeah, no, 5-on-5, they were great. It's just they couldn't stay out of the box.
Yeah, and just the kill. Couldn't get it done against Toronto, which Toronto's power play is one of the hottest since getting into the January 1st.
You don't give Toronto a chance to hit you where it hurts on the power play.
Yeah.
Stolars has been fantastic for the Leafs. Their defense,
that's been the biggest difference.
Their defense, is like the X factor because, like, I think they had over 40 block shots. I think in one game.
100%. In any other alternate reality, that team is losing if Stolars isn't in that. And you look at all the other defense cores they've had. There has never been a defensive core this good in the Matthews era.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that. Like, it's hard to deny that. Like, you look at the cores they've had. You've had teams where Travis Dermott is playing top 4 minutes. Like, it's been that bad. And I really do think that, this whole top 4 of McCabe and Riley and Tanev and then Carlo and even, like, Benoit. Like, all 6 of their D have looked good. Ekman-Larsson has 2 goals in this series, including 2... I would say pretty important ones, getting the scoring going and then obviously forcing overtime in Game 3. So, again, like, I think that they have made, like, the blue line has been one of the best I've ever seen, and just seeing how shut down it's been, I kind of can't believe it. But here's the thing, though, and we had this conversation last night, me and you. I want to see them do it against the real team. If they beat Ottawa and they go to the second round and they get absolutely pumped by Florida...
I won't be surprised because...
No, I won't be surprised.
If they play like this again, like Ottawa's inexperienced. This is their first playoff run in 8 years. A lot of players on the team, this is their first playoff run, period. So if they play a team like Tampa or Florida, like they're playing Ottawa right now, it will be a very short series.
Yeah, like if they beat Ottawa in 5 and then they get pumped by Florida in 5 or in 4. Where do you stand on this? Do you still think they'll definitely keep the core together because they won a round.
They won a round. They keep the core together. It's under Berube now. I still think Shanahan's still having a job. Still it's still
a little bit stupid. But unfortunately, if you guys do end up losing to them, he will probably keep his job.
He will, and good. I think Shanahan's not really a great executive anyway. So all the power to him.
Reminder, he's a Sens fan. But yeah, I think I just want to see him do it against an actually experienced and good team because again, he said Ottawa has no playoff experience.
Florida and Tampa have Those teams combined have been to the last 5 Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah, they've been at every final in this decade. So you're going to play one of the two, and it won't be so easy for you to kind of just, beat Ottawa the way you've been beating them. They have guys all up and down their lineup that can score. Ottawa, not necessarily. And again, it's their first year of playoffs. Like it took Stützle to Game 4 to score.
But it's good to see that the Ottawa fans showed out. In Game 3, I think I didn't see a lot of blue. I did not see a lot of blue. In years where I remember going to the arena, I saw the sea of blue, as they call it. Glad the Ottawa fans showed up. Glad the building was loud. It's good to see playoff hockey back in Ottawa too.
Yeah, you know my stance on the whole Toronto invasion thing. I think it's stupid. I don't like the narrative.
It's so overblown. Like we talked about this, media accounts like Chicklets and Bar Down, they'll go take a photo at warm up. Oh my God! Look at all the Leafs fans. Yeah, because they welcome you down to the ice for a warm up.
Yeah, like that is so stupid, honestly. Like with how they picture that in the warm-ups. Like there was this one person who posted, "Oh, look at the Leafs fans. They're all here." Of course, it's warm-ups. Yeah. The arena doesn't look like that. And look, every single arena is like that with Toronto. Like you look at I remember a couple of years ago when the Leafs played Florida in the regular season the one time, that rink was flooded with Leaf fans.
Because who wouldn't want to go to Florida to see their team play? Like, let's be honest.
When they play Buffalo, it's flooded with Leaf fans.
Yeah, no. I think Buffalo is definitely worse than Ottawa for the invasion.
100%.
Because it's closer.
100%. Yeah. And I've seen it in Ottawa where it gets pretty bad, but I really didn't think it was that bad.
No.
Especially in Game 3. In Game 4, there was a little bit more. Like, in the lower bowl, everybody stood up when Ekman-Larsson scored, and I'm like, what is this? But that's what they always do. They always pay for the lower bowl because they can
afford it. Because in the regular season and playoffs, they can't afford those lower bowl tickets.
Yeah, because they're literally being sold to companies and the president of the United States. Just maybe not right now.
And this is if we're going to Toronto, it'd be a whole different thing. But if you want to get real fans back in the building, why do you think they're going to Ottawa and Toronto? Ottawa and Buffalo, sorry.
Make them cheaper.
This is why we have talked about Toronto getting a second team, because they need one for the blue collars and one for the white collars.
We've had that discussion.
We have
so many times.
But here, I'm going to end up this. Let's say, it's very unlikely, but if Toronto loses this series, I know it's very unlikely, but if Toronto loses this series, I'm telling you right now, heads will roll.
That place will burn to the ground. They have no excuse if they blow this 3-0 series lead. They have no excuse. You burn that team to the ground.
But you can't.
To the ground.
Yeah.
You can't do, unfortunately, but you do everything in your power to. You get rid of Marner. You let Tavares walk.
Yeah, I think
that happens. That has proven that core doesn't work. It does not work. If they blow a 3-0 series lead even if they lose to Ottawa, period, in any scenario, like we said this at the preview, we said if they lose to an inexperienced team like Ottawa, Shanahan should be gone and they should tear that team down. If they go up 3-0 and they pull the impossible, and we've only seen it happen 4 freaking times. I know the Oilers thing, it was recent. It was very recent. They didn't come out on top in that scenario. But it's so rare. It is insanely rare to see something like that. And if Toronto pulls that shit and an inexperienced Ottawa team comes back from down 3-0, burn that team to the ground.
And I'll say this, even if Ottawa gets to 7, even if they get to 7.
Yeah, it's still not.
It's a horrible look.
Yeah, even if you blew it, I know it's all looked at differently now because Florida won the Stanley Cup and they won that Game 7.
If Florida lost that Game 7, that would go down. That would be the biggest embarrassment of your friend. They would be known for that for many, many, many years.
They'd be known for that forever. Literally forever.
The team that blew 3-0 lead in the Stanley Cup final. That's what that would be known for.
Yeah, that's what it would be. And I think if Toronto were to end up doing that, that is the nail in the coffin for Shanahan. That is the nail in the coffin for Marner. That is the nail in the coffin for Tavares and probably Morgan Riley and a couple of the players on that team. But even then, you had 3 good games. Your defense was incredible. Run it back.
Yeah, I would love Ottawa to pull off the upset. Trust me, I really would. But I'm also realistic where I think Toronto wins in 6.
Yeah, I don't think it happens. I think that Toronto will wrap this up on Tuesday in 5. I don't think this goes 6 or 7. I think this is done after that. But if they do win it, if Ottawa does win Game 5, I'm at the edge of my seat. Mm-hmm. So we'll have to see there, obviously. All right, let's move on from that series. We will not spend 20 minutes on every series next. Oh, we got one more thing. What's up?
Oh no,
Oh, okay. Let's kick off here now with Washington, Montreal. So that's the series that everybody has been following here a little bit besides the Toronto-Ottawa one. And it's actually been pretty all right. Again, that series has been actually very entertaining. We just got done with Game 4. Washington currently leads that series 3-1. And LeBlanc, what are your takeaways from that series?
Montreal, Washington?
Yes.
The Bell Center is a really good home advantage. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, 100%.
I think it's proven to me that Montreal can't defend.
Yeah, just the blue line is not playoff built. It's not playoff ready. And I mean, we could have told you that heading into this playoff series.
We did tell you heading into this playoffs, actually. I think we did.
We did. You just look at how, in this game against Washington in Game 4, they had, what? They had, 10 shots of the first 2 periods.
They've looked better than Ottawa has against Toronto because Montreal actually has veterans who've been to playoffs before. Majority of their roster has playoff experience.
Which is weird. It's super strange with this team, in the sense where, they're a young and up-and-coming team in the future, but, their core has been to the Cup final. Caulfield and Suzuki and Gallagher and Anderson, a lot of those guys who have gone through this whole rebuild and were in that final are still here. And that's why they look better. But just it's clear that the blue line isn't better. The goaltending, I don't think, is better. They're just outmatched in every single way. And we could have told you that from a mile away, honestly. But it's not over yet.
No, it's not over. I think Montreal can 4-7.
I mean, I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you.
Looked good.
If they can win Game 5 in Washington and they go back to Montreal, I think it's going 7.
Washington has been on their throat, but Washington also has been scoring in bunches. Even tonight's game, their 2 goals, they won 5-2, but they scored 2 empty nets.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I don't really know. I really do think that this is done in 5 or maybe 6. I actually had Caps in 7, but I mean, I don't know. Montreal can come back from it, but it seems like it's pretty much over. I like how the Caps are playing. Ovechkin is just aura, literally unmatched. He is still insane. Even without Protas, they actually look decent offensively, and it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and then you look at guys like Michael in there. I don't think it's his second. Well, he's a young player. Looking really good, stepping up.
This is his first breakout year. Last year he was all right, but this year was the real breakout season for him. Mm-hmm. How about Logan Thompson coming back from injury
after he got trucked?
Yeah, and playing that game, insane stuff.
I don't understand. Even Montembeault was out, and we were talking about Montembeault tweaked something. Oh, he's out, and then Thompson gets absolutely linebacker status checked in the throat, and then he's just fine.
And then he's back the next game.
His knee, he was limping, on Game 3. He was limping off the ice.
Yeah,
and I thought that was the end of it. It's Lindgren's crease now.
It must not have been anything insanely serious, which is kind of wild. It must not have been anything crazy, which is a little bit shocking, to be honest with you. You would think that you look at that, it's brutal. And I'm surprised that he's there. Now, I think this is over in 5, but I've seen some really good shades here from Montreal.
Montreal's ahead of schedule.
Yes, they are.
So,
and
at the end of the day, this is a great season for Montreal.
It's kind of like Ottawa in a sense, where we were talking about how the Sens are probably going to lose in 5 or 6, but the first time in the playoffs in 8 years. Just I think that is something really good that you can take away from this year. Even if you got swept or you lose in 5. Same thing can be said for Montreal.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's move on from that to the Battle of Florida between the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Florida Panthers. Currently, that series is tied up currently that series is 2-1 Florida. Sorry, Tampa just cut it in half. Yeah, definitely some controversies in this game. This is probably been one of the better series of the playoffs, in my opinion. I really enjoyed this series.
You want to say rough stuff? Here comes the rough stuff. At the end of the whistle. This has been the most heated series by far.
100%. Even more heated than the other two we just talked about, which have had their moments, by the way. Yeah, this one from the get-go, we knew it was going to be brutal. These teams have played each other for the last 5 years. So it's not a surprise that this is playing out the way it is. I must say this, in the first 2 games, Florida looked incredible. Tampa did not have anything to show for it, and they looked incredible. Tampa Bay, though, in Game 3, I felt like they had some lucky goals, but they were still pretty decent and ended up getting the win. I don't know what to take away from that, but I do want to start off with the Tkachuk and Hagel hits. And I know you probably don't want to talk about these because it's controversial, but what were your takeaways on both of those hits?
I think both of those hits are... I didn't get a good look at the Hagel hit. But it looked high. It was a high hit for sure. I don't think it was I need to watch the video actually again, but I don't think it was that bad when I first saw it. But
I mean, it's definitely a rough hit, and since Barkov got injured for it, I understand that there was a game there, and that might be the reason why Tkachuk didn't get a game, because Gensel obviously was not injured and stayed with the team, but. Again, I don't know.
Yeah, I saw the hit here. It doesn't look that's not a head. I don't think it's head contact. It's high, but he leaves his feet and it's high. But I don't feel like he's going for the head there.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he had the puck.
Right. Yeah. I don't know.
He's on the puck there. It's a high rough hit. Is it a penalty? You can call it roughing, sure. You can call it elbowing to some degree, but I don't think that should have been a suspension. He got a 5 in a game. Barkov was playing the next game.
No, Barkov was not.
He didn't?
Barkov didn't play. No.
Oh, thought he was in.
No, I don't think he did.
If he did,
I don't think he did. At least.
I feel like Tkachuk's is more. There's more malice in it. Tkachuk's is at the end of the game when they lost. They lost. Gensel assists on the empty netter, and then Tkachuk. You see him not even looking at the puck. He's just going for Gensel like this, skating towards Gensel. He hits him high, and then Gensel falls and hits his face on the ice. I feel like he should have got a fine at the very least.
Oh, Barkov did play. My apologies.
Did play. So he's not injured. Hagel got...
Yeah, I think it might have been because Barkov left the game. Gensel stayed. Well, see, that's the weird thing. I feel like if you're going to suspend Hagel, you probably should have suspended Tkachuk.
Mm-hmm.
But Tkachuk for that hit got nothing. And I find that a little bit strange. But again, I mean, I didn't think either of them were particularly suspension worthy. But if you're going to suspend Hagel for that hit, you should suspend Tkachuk for that.
I mean, it's a blind.
And again, these are the kind of hits you're going to see in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's a playoff hit. It is a blindside hit. I will agree with that.
100%.
But other than it being blindside, it looks pretty clean. It's a high hit.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. Yeah. Any other thoughts on this series? I thought Vasilevsky definitely looked pretty bad in the first 2 games.
Shaky, but game 3 he looked a lot better.
Game 3, it seems like he locked in. Game 4 will be very telling, though. If Tampa can tie up that series, that'll be fun. But if Florida can get that 3-1 lead, it's probably wraps, if we're being completely honest.
It'd be weird to have both teams lose their home games.
It would be very strange. But we've seen
it. We saw it last year with Dallas and Vegas.
Yeah, that happens a lot. So I'm not... I don't know. It is very strange. Like, usually you see a team win at least one of those, and we have not yet this series. But I don't know. Game 4 is tonight when you're probably listening to this, but some interesting stuff to take a look at there. Devils, Carolina, the last series of the Eastern Conference. That one is firmly 3-1 Carolina. That series is over.
That series, I don't know. Like, the Devils winning in overtime, like, I'm not going to lie, they're lucky they got out of that with a win.
They blew a 2-0 lead in that series.
And then Carolina almost made the full comeback.
They did. And that's why I think this is going to be wraps on Tuesday.
Tuesday, yeah. And I think we both said this coming in, it's a complete mismatch.
It is, yeah. And I mean, again, if Jack Hughes was here, I feel like they'd have a chance. But with Hughes not being in the lineup, it seems like Carolina's is clearly the better team.
Luke Hughes is out.
Yeah, after that, it was the first game where Jack Hughes and Cody Glass were taken out, and that photo was posted everywhere. I'm like, oh my God, it's a goddamn war zone there in New Jersey. And yeah, nobody really took them as a team to win it. And that's actually one of the series right now that I'm actually looking right in. A lot of the other series I'm not looking too hot in. So, just want to say that.
Yeah. But, yeah. I'll be honest, I had Game 4 on today. I literally just had it on as background noise.
Yeah, you knew what the result was going to be. I didn't really have a lot of thoughts on it. When I did my playoff stream, it was the worst of the playoff streams I've done, and I've done almost 20 of them this year. So, I don't know. I just didn't think that it was pretty clear what the result was going to be, and it was pretty obvious. All right, moving on to the Western Conference. Let's start off with Vegas and Minnesota, which is tied at 2 apiece. LeBlanc, this might be, and I'm going to be honest with you, this might be the best series out of the West in terms of entertainment. This series has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'd say so. A series.
I mean, they've all been. I think everyone on the West has been pretty good. If I'm being completely honest, they're all almost tied up at 2, and the game between LA and Edmonton is going on right now. I think this has been the most entertaining one and the most surprising one too.
I picked Vegas in 5, but I always knew. But I always said, I think I said Minnesota can't upset, but I was confident in Vegas' goaltending until I saw Adin Hill hit the ice.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Adin Hill's been he's been horrible. I'm not gonna sit here and say he's been good in this series. But
he's had flashes, but he's
a good play, but he hasn't played well.
Yeah, he's bad a lot of times. And that first line, how do you defend that? Good Lord.
Minnesota's first line is killing it.
Yeah.
Kaprizov looks like he's back about missing a beat.
Yep. It's really a shame they didn't win in Game 4, because that series could be 3-1 Wild right now. Man.
For playoff pool purposes, I need them to lose, but it'd be funny if they won.
It would be, yeah. And again, Kaprizov just coming in, not missing a beat. Just seeing how Vegas kind of answered back in that fourth game, they needed that win. They're very lucky they got that win, honestly. So again, we'll have to see where that series goes, but that's been one of the series that has really surprised me.
It's been so entertaining. Game 4 was I was great. That was one of the best.
Game 4 might have been one of the best games of the playoffs so far. It was so good. Just watching that overtime and how the one goal for Vegas was the stupidest goal ever, but it put them ahead, and then Minnesota tied it a minute later from a Jared Spurgeon wraparound. Oh my God. It was electric. That arena was
Minnesota's always. I know Minnesota's been for sports lug is not that great, but Minnesota hockey, they sell out that arena for high school hockey.
Yeah, they have a great hockey atmosphere there. It just sucks that their team hasn't been able to do much. But with the Parise and Suter contracts coming off the books,
they're going to be dangerous. And we're going to talk about how that in the summer, how they're going to be, how they can potentially be a team in the future. But if they win this series, they have a shot to get to the final. The conference.
They do. I mean, again,
the conference final. That's
the conference. Yeah, conference final. Because who would they play? They would play what? St. Louis?
They would play
or
Edmonton or LA.
Oh, really? Are you sure about that?
Yeah, because they're playing Vegas. Vegas won the Pacific.
Oh yeah, okay. I guess you're right. Okay, that's not impossible. I think if they play LA, I think there's a good chance they can move on. But I don't know what happened.
I talk about the dealt with Dylan, but LA and Minnesota. LA's had Minnesota's number, but Minnesota's had Edmonton's number.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I don't know, to be honest with you. I'm excited for this to all play out, and my brain says Vegas is going to take this in 6 probably. But my heart wants the Wild.
I do want to say, shout out Philip Gustafson. He's played fantastic.
Yeah, he's been incredible. I mean, we've seen it throughout the entire year. He's been phenomenal, but in the playoffs, he's turned it up a notch, and it's been great to see, honestly. Let's do Dallas, Colorado. Dallas, Colorado, one of the more competitive series in these playoffs. It's tied at 2 apiece as well. Last night, Colorado just dominated Dallas 4-0. They pulled Ottinger for something. To be honest with you, Dallas is lucky that series is 2-0 and not 3-1 or 4-0. It's 2-2 and not 3-1 or 4-0.
I'm not gonna. Honestly. Yeah, Dallas has had the lead for I think it said it was 2 minutes the entire series.
70 seconds.
70 seconds. Yeah, 70. Rantanen's been awful for Dallas in this playoffs. Their decore's been not great. Ottinger's okay. Last night, he's the only reason they didn't get blown out 8-0.
Ottinger's been the only major positive. I think again, with not having Miro Heiskanen in there, it's just hard to watch. And then Robertson and all that, and as well as that too, they were cold heading into the playoffs. It's the Bo's fault that Robertson's not playing. It's his fault.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. Again, just the way Colorado has looked, they are just so lucky that series is tied and not 3-1 right now, honestly.
Yeah, Colorado. This series could be over. I don't mean that as as Dallas. That Colorado's played really, really well.
Yeah, it's just been all Avalanche. It hasn't been close either.
Mm-hmm.
It's not in a sense where all the games are by 1 goal, which I guess they were. But Dallas is they're still playing good. They're still playing solid, and they've had leads. No, it's been just terrible. Terrible.
And we can talk about this all day, and this is the reason why we need to go back to 1v8 seeding, but that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
This shouldn't be a first round series.
It should not be, and I will say that till I'm in my grave, honestly. Moving on from that, let's do St. Louis, Winnipeg. It was 2-0 Jets. It's 2-2 now.
This
as neither team has won on the road yet.
This might be the most violent series in the West.
Probably, I would say.
These two teams, I don't know what it is, but they seem to really not like each other.
Yeah, I mean, again, when you're a divisional rival, they really haven't played that much in the playoffs, though. It's not
2019 they played each other. That's the last time they played each other in the playoffs.
That's it. Yeah, that's the only other time. So just really weird stuff, but Connor Hellebuyck. It is a problem. I don't think it is as big of a problem as we say it is, but it's a problem.
I hate to say I told you so, but I fucking told you so. I'm very active on social media. Follow at LeBlanc on Twitter.
Here we go.
But I'm very active on social media. Excuse me. I was arguing with a Jets fan saying that last 2 years, Hellebuyck in the playoffs has not been close to what he is in the season. And I was told that Hellebuyck's going to show up this year, and there's no such thing as playoff Hellebuyck. What? So does he know it's playoff time?
Here's my thing. Let me ask you a question.
For sure.
In the series against Vegas, where they were the wild card team,
they were not the favorite. No, not at all. So
Yes. Okay. In the series against Colorado, they did have home ice advantage, but were they really the favorite?
no,
In this series, are they the favorite?
they should be the favorite. Yes.
Yes. So what I'm saying there is the last couple of years, you could have made the argument that, oh, it's the fact that they weren't the favorite and all that. This year they are, and they're playing this way still. I got to be blunt with you. I don't know if you watched that game between the Jets and the Blues. I really don't think, like, again, the Hellebuck problem is still there. It is blown out of proportion. Like, the guy needs to go on a run. He does. And again, like, I feel like in the playoffs, he hasn't really had that. In that game, a lot of the goals that the Blues had, two of them were tips. One of them went off Neil Pionk's butt. Like, a lot of them weren't really his fault. I feel like a lot of the reason why we say that, oh, these goaltenders are bad is because the defense is terrible. And I'm going to refer to an example here. Frederik Andersen, for many years, was tripped in Toronto because of how bad he was in the playoffs.
But here's the thing.
Maybe it was the defense then.
Yeah, here's the thing. Anderson played great in those Toronto series.
That's true.
Like Toronto is like, once again, Sens fan. Toronto loves a scapegoat. They always need someone to blame.
I guess that's fair. Okay.
And like Hellebuck, like you look at even even the year against Vegas, he wasn't horrible, but he wasn't great. Last year, he was straight up like a liability on the ice. Like, do you remember Game 1 last year?
Yes.
Remember what was the score? What was the final score?
In Toronto, Boston?
No, in Winnipeg, Colorado.
Oh, it was like 8-5.
8-7.
Oh my god. Yeah. It's because you had Georgiev and Hellebuck facing off in a mid-off.
At home, I think Game 1 he didn't look bad at all. He looked really good actually. Game 2 he looked a little shaky.
He got better though as it went along.
Game 1 he looked shaky. Game 2 he looked really good.
Yeah, I was gonna say he looked good.
I mixed up my games. Game 3 in St. Louis. What was that?
Yeah, he did shit the bed there. I can't argue it. I mean, like, he's been bad, but I don't think you need to. You're blowing it too out of proportion.
But the game today. Did you watch the game today?
I did.
I think some of those goals were on him. Some of them were on the defense. I'm not going to say it's all his fault.
I mean, two of them were tips. I'm not really sure what you want to do about a tip.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to blame him for those two, but 5 unanswered goals. As a team, the Jets can play better on the road.
Yeah, 5 on 18 is pretty bad. It is, but I
here's the thing though.
Maybe it's because I'm a Hellebuck deck rider and I really like Hellebuck, but I can't see.
The Jets' top 6 has been producing this playoffs.
100%.
The Jets,
100%.
Jets scoring has had some goals, but they need to do better at defending. Those bottom 6 players got to play defense. Those defensemen need to step up as well. I'm sorry, Josh Morrissey, I have not seen it. I haven't seen him I haven't heard his name. I'll be honest. I haven't heard his name most of the playoffs.
I mean, let's be honest. In the first 2 games, did St. Louis play bad?
No, they actually played really good. So,
this series could be 4-0 right now.
It could be, and that's the thing that scares me. That Winnipeg has all these guys. If they lose this, first of all, prayers up to Carter. Second of all,
yes. Carter might leave the podcast if they lose in the first round, because that is 3 years in a row where he has picked them to win the Stanley freaking Cup.
Second of all, if they lose this, it's first of all, it's as a President's Trophy, it's embarrassing, and where do you go from here?
Yeah, you feel. I mean, they have a sense of direction, but after that, you're
and I don't like to throw the word fluke around. I really don't. But I don't know what St. Louis is hot coming into these playoffs, and I think I've said this multiple times. You come into the playoffs hot.
This year felt different.
It did feel different, and I'm not here to drag the Jets through the mud as I sounds like I am. But like this year, it felt different. It felt like this was the year.
It sound like Leaf fan.
I know it sucks because I really do like the Jets. I think
the Jets are one of my favorite teams.
No, like,
you got a Jets jersey in the back.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I like the Jets. I'm not a Jets hater. I have friends who are Jets fans. I love Connor Hellebuck. Shiley's one of my favorite players since he got drafted there with the first ever franchise pick. But like, it would be very disappointing to see them go out in 6.
It would be. I hope they win Game 5 and at least make it close. But man,
if they lose Game 5, it's over.
Yeah, I gotta say this. Like they look like. I mean, no, not the Jets. St. Louis looks pretty good. Like again, I think it's the like. It's not only the Montgomery effect, but it's them getting hot. Just they look good.
Robert Thomas, no one's talking about that guy.
Yeah, I mean, like, I gotta be blunt with you. You referred back to that 2019 team a lot. Do you think this team can like go on a run? Like, they would play one of Dallas or Colorado?
I really don't think they beat Colorado.
It'd be hard. I could see them doing it.
I mean, the thing is, here's my thing. They took out the number 1 rated Stars in their playoff run in 2019. Take out the Jets, who were the first seed. You could take out Colorado. Then they played a team from California. You could play the Kings in the conference finals. I know it's me like mapping out a route that doesn't seem likely, but.
And then they play. Who would they? They would play
an Atlantic team, so it would have to be a team from the East Coast.
They play a Florida team because that's just how it works now. Yeah, that's just how. You know what's crazy? Like that is the last time a non-Florida team has made the Stanley Cup final for the Eastern Conference. Mm-hmm. Isn't that crazy? 2019. That was the last time.
When was the last time a non-Atlantic team made the Cup final?
2018.
Caps, yeah.
Just wild stuff. Wild stuff. I don't know. But yeah, and then wrapping up with that, it's a game that's going on right now, so I don't really want to like go terribly in depth with it because it's just going to be coming null, especially if one team wins. Kings and Oilers. Kings are up 2-1. It's 1-0 Kings at the intermission. What are your thoughts on this series?
Put Skinner, your ass. Like I don't know how to put it any nicer than that. Your ass.
Yeah, he might be worse than Hellebuck.
The Oilers, like, oh, we don't need a goalie. We're fine with Stuart Skinner. What a freaking stupid thing to say.
Stan Bowman should be fired.
He should be fired.
He won't be, but he should be. Like, saying that and then that being the biggest reason why you lose this series. Again, oh my God, a lot of it's the defense and the goaltending. And missing Ekholm is a goddamn travesty. That might be what puts the Oilers down here. And I think, again, like, that's part of it. The other part is Stuart Skinner has just been terrible. Even Calvin Pickard, like, I mean, yeah, they won the game. Pickard led in, like, 4 goals and 20 shots still.
Here's the thing about the Oilers. Like, you're never out of it with that offense.
No. Well, that's why they're going to score their way to the cup. Like, that's what they did last year.
Yeah, but you can't win a cup like that. I'm sorry, you can't.
No, you can't. And I get it, goalies are hard to come by now, but I just don't see a argument for keeping this.
You putting all your chips in the Stuart Skinner basket when the basket is full of holes isn't a good idea. Like,
yeah,
like saying that, the market this year for goalies is actually really good.
Is it really?
Well, I mean, it was, but at the deadline, you could have got somebody.
Yeah, they absolutely could have. There was goalies who were traded. Like it's so embarrassing for Bowman to say that, and then things go the way they do. It'll be very, very bad.
They lose in 5. Big changes coming to oil country. Not like core changes, but like on the in goal and net. Big changes are coming on defense. Big changes are coming.
The goalie market is not that terrible, but
it was better at the start of the year.
It's Freddie Anderson and then Crickets. Alex Georgiev, Ilya Samsonov, Jake Allen.
Anton Forsberg.
Fleury's retiring. Anyways.
Forsberg,
for the Kings, if they win this game 4, and I said this after game 2, all they have to do is win 1 in Edmonton. You have to win 1 in oil country. And then you can go back to LA up 3-1, where you have been very good in this series.
The best team at home. The best team at home all year.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Where you have been incredible this season and have broken records. You can close it out there. And all you got to do is win game 4. If you lose game 4, I think they probably still win the series, but I'm not as confident as I would be because you're giving Oilers momentum. And I don't like that.
I don't like that either.
So, again, I don't know.
No, the Canadian me wants the Oilers to win because they're a Canadian team. The hockey fan in me wants the Oilers to lose so that they can just get their shit together.
Yeah, 100%. I don't watch. Nothing will happen out of this either because they'll be like, "Oh, Ekholm, no Ekholm."
I don't want to say McDavid. We all know the McDavid's going to leave rumors. I don't think he stays, but like the more you start losing early. I know before the Cup final, they lost in the first and second round for multiple years in a row.
Yeah, well, I mean, they went to the conference finals in 2022,
but like
they skipped the bet in 23. They made it to the final last year. If they lose early this year, it's a trend. To be honest, but it does make things difficult if we're being honest. So yeah, going through all these series, what is one that has been the most surprising for you?
I think the most surprising. I think Toronto being up 3-0 was like that was a shock to me. I'm sorry, like.
It is surprising. The way that Minnesota's played for me in that series has been really surprising. I thought that series would be wraps in 5, if we're being honest. I thought that series would be done in 5. But it's not. It might go. It's going at least 6, maybe 7.
I'd say the Jet series as well for me. I didn't think they would do this again. I didn't think Hellebuyck would be this meh again.
What's the least surprising series?
Oh, New Jersey, Carolina.
Yeah, I was going to say Jersey, Carolina. What has been the most entertaining series that you have followed?
All the Ottawa Toronto games have been very entertaining.
I mean, I feel like all of these have been fun. Again, like looking at
I really like the Minnesota Vegas, the Blues Jets one's been really fun as well. And then Tampa Florida's been fun as well.
Minnesota Vegas has been actually the one that I've watched the most. So I got to say that's probably been the most entertaining. What has been the least entertaining?
Oh, Carolina, New Jersey. I don't need to kick on it, but like.
Yeah, honestly, I really until game 3, I really wasn't like that interested in watching in Washington, Montreal.
Montreal, like game 2, I didn't watch game 1. I was at work. Game 2, I watched. It was entertaining, and then game 3 was fun. Game 3 was really fun.
And then, how's the bracket looking?
So here's the thing. I had Ottawa in 7. That is not happening. So, for like my finals picks are Tampa and Colorado. Tampa's down 1. Colorado's tied. I still feel good about it though.
I only have maybe 5. Like I only have maybe 3 series that I'm like surefire confident in at this point, and that is Toronto, Ottawa, Carolina, New Jersey, and then Washington, Montreal.
Yeah, no,
those are the only 3 that look good for me right now. The other 5, not looking too hot because I picked the Oilers and I picked the Stars, and that just doesn't look good.
Well, I picked the Jets. You see how it is. I picked the Jets. I picked Vegas. We'll see how that goes. But I picked the Kings, and I picked who's the last series I'm forgetting, and I picked the Avalanche.
I picked Tampa in 7. I'm still a little bit worried about that.
I picked
even though Tampa cut it in half, I'm still a little bit worried.
I picked Tampa in 6.
Oh, that ain't that could happen, but you might be cooked. You might be.
Might be, yeah.
I hate to say it to you. All right, let's move out of the playoffs. We got some news to talk about here outside of the realm of that. Let's start off, and I've been wanting to talk about this for so long. What the hell is Seattle doing? So the Seattle Kraken have fired Dan Bylsma. Let's start off with that. We'll get into the other stuff here in a little bit. But the Kraken have fired Dan Bylsma. I think this is so stupid.
Seattle, come here. Come on. Get real close. What are you doing? Like, I don't understand. Like, Ron Francis is covering his own fucking ass with this. And, like, firing Bylsma is the stupidest shit ever.
Look, Bylsma was not perfect. This Kraken team was far from perfect. They are an aggressively mid team.
They were not good. And I brought in Brandon Montour and Chandler Stevenson. And that doesn't, here are puzzle pieces, okay? This is a puzzle. Here's a piece. When you have two of these pieces, they don't go together. Now,
exactly.
You promoting yourself, I'm bringing in, I'm sorry, do you remember Jason Botterill, the old GM of the Sabres? He was so bad. Like, he's the reason, one of the reasons Buffalo is still Buffalo. Like, you didn't draft well. You don't have a good team. Now you don't have a good general manager. Seattle, like, the trajectory of Seattle, like, first 2 years, and now, like, I don't understand, like, how it could go so wrong so fast.
Yeah, like the more we move on from it, the more of a fluke that 2023 playoff run was.
Which sucks.
It was so much fun too.
It was
so much fun, and it all went to.
And I'm going to say this: what coach is going to go to Seattle, like, willingly?
Exactly.
It's not.
I swear to God, and I want to get more into Bylsma in a little bit in a second. I swear to God, if they hire Peter Laviolette, I will break this chair. I will lose my mind. You are lucky that you have a fan base who is incredibly loyal, which, like, again, you've only been around for so long.
You know what makes fans unloyal? Losing. It's, and like that job is so unfavorable to, like, a guy, to a coach on the market. It's such an unfavorable job. You have a bad roster. You don't have any say. You don't have any say because your GM might fire you after 1 year. Seeing with Bylsma, and, like, the team's not good, and, like, you might have no say.
It's not a good culture there, and I feel like going back to Bylsma, because you jumped over the Botterill right away, but going back to Bylsma, for what he did for that organization. Again, it wasn't perfect. The defense I didn't think was great. But for what he has done for not just the Kraken, but for that organization, he took that Coachella Valley Firebirds team to 2 straight Calder Cup finals. And that means something. That shows your prospect pool. Not only that, he rejuvenated Shane Wright. He scratched Shane Wright for a game. Wright came back and scored 40 points.
Yep.
That is not a coincidence. That is not no coincidence at all. He turned Yanni Nyman, a second-round pick, into somebody who could be a full-time NHLer next year. He looked really good in the last couple of games there with Seattle. Not only that, one of the actually half-decent moves that Ron Francis made was getting Kaapo Kakko. Bylsma played a massive role in why Kakko's career has been rejuvenated as well. It is unbelievable that he gets let go after a season, after what he did for that organization. I get it. Again, like, you want to maybe have everybody on the same page and all that stuff, but you gave him 1 year and he was the victim of something that you tried to do that didn't work out, and you're like, oh, fire him. Gone. Goodbye.
I don't
Not
even a whole calendar year on the job. That's it. Like, that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like, if Seattle came last, like, very, like bottom 2, I could understand it. But, like,
they were worse, but they had flashes of good.
Bylsma did a lot of good for that team, and now, like, Seattle might bottom out next year.
To be honest, yeah. Like, if I'm a player on that team, do I really want to be a part of this right now?
And I want to remind you that the players also said, fire Hacksaw because we don't want to play for him. So I can see one. Thing. I don't think. I'm not in the locker room, so I don't have inside information. But there's no way the players did it again, where they said we won't play. Now Bylsma's been accused in the past of being. Bylsma in the past, his past dog's been accused of being very stubborn.
I can't believe that. I'm sorry. I just can't. I can't believe that.
I don't believe it either. And if it did happen again, when the players said that, then the players have too much power.
Yeah, that's another problem that you can look at there too. As well as that, Eli Tolvanen, another guy who's a really good example. Tolvanen, like the last couple of years, like has struggled. He comes to Seattle, he's been phenomenal since coming over, and this year with Bylsma, 20 goal scorer for the first time in his career.
Yeah, I
can't believe you let a guy walk that fast. Not only that, Ty Cartier was a full-time NHLer this year, essentially. Yenny Nyman, like he coached the future of that team.
He coached with
and you just fired him.
I don't know. I don't get it. Also, like you talk about Yenny Nyman, like the way you're talking, like speaking on it, you make it sound like you like found him in like the dirt on the road, like.
Well, he was a second-round pick.
Yeah, no, you say a second-round pick. Like it's a second-round pick, guy. It's not like it was a really late pick, but like still, I get what you're saying. Get what you're saying, but I don't understand. And like ownership, ownership probably doesn't give a shit. I'll be honest.
No, they don't care.
No, like
I can tell.
They're raking like that's our game where they're just raking in money and like they sell it every game. They have the most expensive tickets in the league, actually.
Which is kind of wild for a team that is that bad. Yeah. And you charge more than Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
Let that sink in.
I want to say, even when Toronto was bad, Toronto, when they're bad, they do lower ticket prices.
It's unreal stuff. Some unreal stuff, honestly.
This could be a thing where, like, Seattle might see another good Seattle team for, like, another 5 years.
A long time.
Like,
we barely saw anything of that. We're in the fourth season of this team. Vegas, up to this point, has been to, like, what? A cup final and 2 conference finals?
2 cup finals.
They won the cup in their 6th year.
Yeah, 2 cup finals.
They ain't even fucking close to a cup. They're not even close to the playoffs.
I do want to say that Seattle wasn't given the same thing as Vegas, where Vegas was given a lot of guys not to take certain people, and they didn't do that with Seattle. So I get that part of it, but you can't be blaming on that 4 years into your history. And I'm going to make a comparison to another league. What feels like with Seattle is bad ownership, and it feels like this is the old Cleveland Browns.
It does feel like that. Yeah, I can get behind that.
And I know you're not a big football guy, but the Browns were for so many years.
No, but like I know, like I don't like follow football. Like I don't watch games, but I know like what to expect. Like, so just again, like
Cleveland Browns, like Charlotte Hornets, like Chicago White Sox, like level bad.
Yeah, just brutal stuff. Brutal stuff. Let's stay in that division. I do want to move on because, again, like we just stick around beating on Seattle for too long, they'll stop listening to us. The Anaheim Ducks fired Greg Cronin. God is real. God bless. That's actually good news.
Everybody's just hopping in the street, dancing. They're all like Anaheim fans were dancing in the street.
Yeah. Cronin created a really bad environment in the locker room, and the players hated to play for him, and you could tell that even though like they got better this year, there were some players that just did not fit under his
systems
stature. Like Trevor Zegras had a pretty rough year. He was better than last year, but still had a pretty rough year.
Yeah,
I think a lot of that was Cronin. Cutter Gauthier spent a lot of his time on like the 4th line.
It's a rough year, especially it's a rough year when you're making that much money.
Standings wise, they got better.
They got a lot better, and I feel like Verbeek said it's expectation that next year this is a playoff team.
Which I'm not sure if I can get behind that, but I do kind of like. Well, I love the direction they're going in. Like they're one of my favorite teams to look at here, heading out of the West. To be honest, So Cronin leaving is good. It's just a matter of who will they hire. You know what? How about David Carle as the next coach of the Anaheim Ducks?
That's a great fit. That's a great fit for the Ducks. I don't know. David Carle is going to be a very highly sought after coach. We already saw it today. He declined the Chicago Blackhawks job.
Yes,
I don't know if that is him declining it because he's going to stay at Denver, or he wants to go to another, or he doesn't want to go, or he wants to go to another job. Like, I don't know what's going to happen there.
I don't know. One more thing with Cronin and the Ducks. How about them interviewing Joe Quenneville?
I hate it. I hate it so much.
Please don't do that.
If that's not the biggest hockey has a culture problem I've ever seen. Like,
I mean, Stan Bowman got a job, so I really wouldn't be shocked if.
Yeah, but here's the thing: it's Edmonton. I don't expect classy things from Edmonton. No offense.
Exactly. So that's kind of what I think there. I agree with you on that. That being said, David Carle did withdraw from consideration for the Blackhawks head coach job. He declined it. I mean, again, like as you said, it could be him just wanting to go back to Denver. But what does this tell about the Blackhawks?
It's not a sexy job. Like you look, I always do this when the NFL and NHL has they have like what they call like Black Monday, where all the coaches get fired. I like to rate the job. I think we'll do that maybe next episode. We'll rate the head coaching vacancies.
Sure.
And Chicago should be near the bottom.
Yeah, just because of the fact that they look like they're so far away. And I feel like, I mean, after the draft, if they get Michael Misa and he comes over next year, I feel like there might be a narrative that changes with that, but they just feel really far away.
They do.
Honestly. It's not like a sense where like Anaheim were like they're right there, or even Philadelphia where like if they get the right pieces, they could make it, but it just feels like with this Chicago team, they are so far away.
I don't know. Chicago is a whole different. I've been very low on Chicago. I like their prospects, but like that's all they got. Like you also have like a disgruntled star in Chicago as well.
100%. Yeah, I mean we talked about it before. Lou Lamourello just looks like he does, or Lou Lamourello. That's next. You can tell I'm tired. Connor Bedard looks depressed all the time. So. Yeah. Now that I just spoiled where we're going next, Lou Lamourello is out as the Islanders GM. How do we feel about this?
It's the right move.
Merry Christmas, Islanders fans.
And
Lamourello, I must say, recently he's been holding on to something that is just not there. They've been holding on to something that is just not a good team anymore. But he turned that team into from a very mid team and Tavares, their number one player, leaving, into a playoff team that made it to the second round and then back-to-back conference finals. So I feel like that really does matter. And I think Lamourello did some good things, but as a lot of things go, it was time to say goodbye. Just like all of my relationships up until this current one that I'm in right now.
Say goodbye.
Exactly. Just gotta say goodbye.
You kick his ass out the door, and then you lock it. You change the lock.
Yeah, you gotta lock it. You gotta make sure he doesn't get.
Do you think Lou is done? Do you think he'll ever be a general manager again?
He should be. He really should be, but he might not be. I feel like the guy is old. He needs to just sit back and enjoy his retirement.
Listen, go.
But he won't.
Go.
He'll go to fucking Buffalo.
Go chill with the grandkids. Like, chill.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Lou is, I think he's 80. Like he's up there in age.
He's an old boy. He's an oldie.
Like he was manager of the Devils in the 90s. Yeah, he's 82.
Yeah, old guy, old man there, for sure. And then last but not least, Peter Laviolette was fired from the Rangers job. Not surprising. When you say that you don't go into the locker room, I kind of fucked you over anyways, so.
Like, also the Rangers. Here, once again, come close. What do we do? Why are we extending Chris Drury? What the fuck is that?
Yeah, we'll just get into that. Last topic of the day. Chris Drury extended by the Rangers. Clown stuff. it continues the horrible culture they have there.
Like I don't want to be. I'll be blunt. Chris Drury is a fucking enabler.
He's terrible.
He's horrible. Yeah, I'm like, it's like, we know Chris Drury doesn't get young. He doesn't like young players. I'm like, why? They need. I want to see who he hires as coach.
Oh my god, they'll hire Rick Tocchet. Watch.
Oh my god. Like,
no, you know who they're gonna fire or hire? Joel Quenneville.
Fuck. That sounds like hell. Like,
does it sound realistic?
It does, because the Rangers, like, we had the conversation last episode where we just kept shitting on the Rangers constantly.
Well, that was because of the Panarin thing.
Yeah, and the Rangers are a walking circus right now.
And not the one that plays in the MSG.
No.
Like, seriously, it is an atrocious organization. And the craziest thing is they might make the playoffs next year.
Here's the thing. It's really sad when the Islanders are being run better than you.
At this point, yeah. Like, I think with how Drury's treated their captain, how they've traded players away, they've done everything they could. I get it, it's business, but it's morally messed up, some of the things they're doing.
Yeah. But we've already been into that. We don't really get into that, but, like, oh my god. Like, the Rangers, I want to see what they do in the offseason. I want to see who Chris Drury hires as the new head coach.
Yeah, that's going to be the biggest factor. There has yet to be a new head coach hired by any team, but who knows? Maybe next episode we'll find out.
Hey, Torts, reunion. Like,
if it's either Torts or Quenneville, oh my god.
I can't see Torts going back to the Rangers, but it'd be funny as hell.
No, it'd be pretty funny. That being said, that's a wrap for this episode of the NBP. Playoff episode. I thought it would be a lot longer, but it was not. LeBlanc, any final thoughts?
Sens in 7.
Of course, I knew you were going to say that. My final thought: just enjoy the playoffs. I don't think we even brought this up, but Gabe Landeskog, what a guy! What a guy! What a return! Some phenomenal stuff there last night, and I thought he was Arturi Lehkonen. Yeah. Anyways, that's a wrap for this episode of the MVP. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.
I just do what I do. See me? I just do what I do. Man, I just do what I do. To know about you, I just do what I do. Check. That's the intro. See that? Yeah. I just do what I do. See me? I just do what I do. Yo, check. Let me flip this script. I feel privileged for all who can witness this. I am close to divine. Know the moment is mine, need no omen or sign. Providing a back sound to all the squares that ask around. Be getting it, my skills pay me. Trying to get a million, baby, with an adopted flow that God gave me. Me now. Tell whoever runners that they spot is temporary till I take it, it's mine. I'm selfish. Your will. Tell Miss I'm on my wealth tip. So when we cash out soon, I'm just investing. Hey, no yes men. I've been a legend since before mom and dad had me and was best friends. I chew through comp, don't test them. I chew on tracks, cause after that I bless them. I just do what I do. You see me? I just do what I do. I just do what I do. I don't know about you. I just do what I do. Check.